What's going on, guys? It's Jack here for Bet Check Bluff. We've got some hand analysis here today. First hand we've got for you is from the 550 Micro Millions 6 Max, where it's 300-600 with a 75 ante. Kicking off the action, we see an open from the hijack to 1500 and a call from the cutoff when we're on the button with Ace King. We squeeze to 4,900, folds back around to the hijack, who 4-bets to 10,200, and we see a fold. We have the first decision of the hand. I think if this were blind versus blind, or even button versus small blind, we'd probably want to 5-bet and just get this in, particularly if we were in the small blind where we don't want to be playing too many hands out of position post-flop. But hijack versus button for 57 big blinds effective, it's probably a little bit too wide to be doing that. So getting 3.4 to 1 in position, probably just going to want to call and take a flop. And so that's what we do. We see a queen, queen, jack with 2 hearts. Villain continues for under a quarter, almost a fifth of the pot. This is something you don't really see in cash games, but you do see in tournaments where the stack depths don't really allow for big bet sizes. And what that means is we're left in a position here where we can't really be folding many of our hands. We're getting 5.8 to 1. So we want to look to fold around 15% of our hands. To think of some hands that we would fold here, if we decided to squeeze with a hand like 7-8 suited and then call a 4-bet, getting a good price, we would fold. We just give it up on this flop. Same probably goes for 8-9 suited. It has a gut shot, but it's probably not strong enough. And Ace-5 suited as well, if we decided to go that way with that hand. That's probably what we'd end up doing. We'd give up on this flop. It goes without saying that would assume we don't have hearts. But with Ace-King high, with a gut shot, 2 overs, probably a little bit too strong. So we call. Also worth noting, I don't really think we're going to have a raising range on this flop. I think we're going to call with all the hands we continue with. We see 3 of hearts on the turn, and the villain checks. I think I decided on this turn it was going to be an entire range check back. The main reason being is that if we were nutted here, so if we had queens, if we had jacks, if we had queen jack suited, we would always be checking back. So it doesn't really make much sense to be stabbing with any of our bluffs. And this comes down to the small stack to pot ratio, that we can just wait to see a river and then use our option then, either get the villain to bluff into us or get him to check, and then we can exercise our option again. We can either value bet our queens, our jacks, what have you. We can check back. So we do check. And we see a 5 of spades. The villain checks once more. And now I think this is the biggest decision of the hand, where we have to decide if our Ace-King high is strong enough to check back, or if it's too weak and it needs to bluff. To help make that decision, I have prepared a notepad document. So the first thing we need to think about is what hands we would be value betting on this river. So we have queen jack suited, 2 combos, jacks, 3 combos, queens, 1 combo, ace queen, 8 combos, king queen, 8 combos, and then we have our flushes, which works out to be at least 6, giving us a total of 28 value bets. Because we only have 1 bet size on this river, which is all of the chips, it's roughly 58% of the pot, and plugging that into a calculator, we find that we need to be value betting around 2.7 times as much as we need to be bluffing. What that means with 28 value combos is that we should be aiming for around 9, a little over 9 bluff combos. So if we decide that we're going to bluff with all the hands we get here with that are worse than Ace-King, we'd have 10-9 suited without hearts, Ace-10 suited without hearts, and King-10 suited without hearts. And that's 3 combos of each, giving us exactly 9. So if we were to bluff with Ace-King, we would then be over bluffing. And if we used every combo of Ace-King, we would be way over bluffing. So Ace-King actually fits better into a check back range here. Whoop. we do decide to check back and chop up the pot.